Today I effed up by not knowing how much caffeine was in soda, coffee, and Death Wish coffee. I, 35M/225 lbs, have been a caffeine drinker my whole life, mostly soda, but also daily tea and occasional coffee. Caffeine has never bothered me before other than I need to cut it off a few hours before bed. I'm a much heavier soda drinker than anything. When I moved out on my own, a 24-pack of Coca-Cola would barely last me a week, on top of a big Coca-Cola at lunch and anywhere I went out to eat. I've since cut way back. Just before Corona a 12-pack would last me 2 weeks, post-Corona / went to WFH / a 24-pack lasts me just under 2 weeks, but it's still less total consumption. I could drink coffee drinks with no problems or noticeable effects. However, I never realized just how little caffeine was actually in these. Yes, I said little. I'm also a scout leader and there are plenty of jokes about scoutmasters and coffee. Scouting events definitely account for most of my yearly coffee consumption. In the past few years, I've become pretty sensitive to hot weather, especially when trying to sleep. We had a campout planned for the spring. Figuring I wouldn't sleep well, I decided to try out the higher caffeine Death Wish instant coffee I had heard about to make sure I would be alert during the day for the scouts. Here's the foo, as you might have gleaned from the title. I didn't know exactly how much caffeine this stuff had beyond a lot. Nor did I have any awareness whatsoever how that related to my normal caffeine consumption. Here's the real foo though. I wanted to try it before I went on the campout, so I decided to make a cup at home. I have a large insulated travel mug. So I figured I should use 2 packets of the Death Wish instant coffee. My Keurig machine, which I basically use for instant hot water, I rarely use a disposable pod, has 3 cup size options, 6, 8, and 10 ounces. I didn't realize that the highest it went was only 10 ounces, I thought it was more like 12 or 14. So I put 2 packets of Death Wish instant coffee, designed for 8 ounces each, into 10 ounces of hot water. Now, so you'll know how much caffeine is in everything. A 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola has about 34 milligrams. So a 32-ounce gas station / large fast food cup would have around 90 milligrams. A cup of coffee has between 100 and 200 milligrams. A packet of Death Wish instant contains around 300 milligrams of caffeine, and I use 2. Y'all, it was the first time I ever had the caffeine shakes. My heart was racing and pounding while I was sitting still. Not enough for me to go to the ER, but a new experience for me. My hands were absolutely shaking for a while. It tapered off and I slept okay that night, but that was definitely a never again. I've drank a single packet of the stuff many times since, including on the campout I got them for, without issue. TLDR, I didn't realize I hadn't actually been drinking a lot of caffeine in my life, and then I tried a coffee with 600 milligrams of caffeine at one time, which gave me my first ever caffeine shakes.